What are the main technology trends that can affect entrepreneurship?
So as technology evolves, each new generation of technology basically provides the infrastructure for a new wave of entrepreneurship to come around. So with the coming of the internet and web devices after 2000, we saw the whole dot-com boom and then the dot-com bubble, of course. But that was, if we can see, that led to a huge big startup revolution. Similarly, when mobile devices came with the Apple and Android, this led to an unprecedented boom of startup ecosystems all over the world. So that's why understanding and being aware of technology trends is very, very important, not only because technology helps to develop a new kind of use case, but the fact that it opens up and unlocks so many possibilities. So when we look at some of the trends, one of the trends that we have already seen growing up is the rise of platforms. So digital platforms are able to connect two types of usually a resource provider, such as a seller or a buyer, and we see that in Airbnb, Uber, and the huge kind of disruption it has created. So there can be startups with a lot of new business models already created around the platform, and there are still so many other sectors that platforms, I believe, we will see it disrupting. Maybe sectors such as insurance, maybe sectors such as banking, finance, and so on. But what are the other big trends? So I think blockchain is one of the very big trends, because blockchain has shown that we do not need any kind of centralized server or a centralized provider to have any kind of exchange of information or data or even accounting and so on. So the implications are immense, because with the blockchain we have a system where now you don't need a bank to create track of financial transactions. So blockchain is already seeing a lot of applications outside of the financial sector. For instance, it's in the supply chain, or in the case of legal contracts, or with the case of identities. There are already a lot of startups coming and using that technology. The next big revolution which we have already seen is big data. Now big data is not something new, because machine learning tools and technologies already existed, but the way you can use different kinds of algorithms for generating intelligence is really, really immense. So right from sentiment analysis to basically transliterate and convert speech to text, all of these contexts can be applied by startups to develop something completely new models, and some very, very interesting trends can emerge. Another big example is that we have seen with 3D printing. So 3D printing was started at the time when basically NASA had in their space station needed a lot of objects, and shipping objects from Earth to the International Space Station was very difficult. So with 3D printing you could basically just send out the schemes or designs, and you could basically print objects. But now their costs has reduced so much, and it's really going down an exponential curve in terms of reduction of costs. So we can see that it won't be very far when manufacturing to a large extent will move towards designing. Now what it means is large companies who are manufacturing products will actually move to a new era where there will be a lot of services and businesses around designing new products and selling those designs. So people can simply download or buy those designs and go to their local 3D printing office and get that object printed. So now it's moving from rapid prototyping to a stage where even customized manufacturing or even mass manufacturing can be done using 3D printers. Another area is virtual reality and augmented reality. So virtual reality is basically creating immersive environments where you, right now we have those goggles or glasses, but even that is advancing so fast. I think that the time, it's not so far when the realities would become more so realistic that you can actually create the entire feeling of an online session or a classroom or e-learning or maybe an industrial course or training with virtual environments. So the business there, once such immersive 3D reality becomes vibrant, is there'll be a huge business case for building and creating more content, more designs, more realistic experiences, and in a large number of new business applications would come out of it. So the idea that we must be aware of these latest upcoming trends and technologies is because it's going to unlock a lot of potential for new businesses in the future. As AI and machine learning and robotics become more and more prevalent, a lot of old jobs which were more mechanical, more monotonous, or even if it used the mechanical working or even desk jobs, for instance, accounting and so on, we are going to get to a point where some of these jobs will no longer be relevant. For instance, with the self-driving cars, driving is already probably going to be obsolete in next 5 to 10 years. So we must prepare ourselves for creating this, for leveraging on this huge spurt of new technology innovation, so that new jobs, and it won't be just jobs, new forms of entrepreneurship can emerge, so that we can create an environment where there will be more and more individual entrepreneurship activities and individual self-learning activities that can boost the entire ecosystem.